How are you? I'm so happy you're here tonight. Hey, I am going to share with you one of my favorite summer recipes tonight. I have a story for you about this recipe. These are Hawaiian Kabobs, and I was on vacation with a friend. We had our kids. It was just a few years ago. We both have teenagers, and she said, let's make dinner at home. Let's save some money and just make some dinner at home. And I said, okay. But I really didn't want to come in from the beach and really work that hard. So I said, what do you have in mind? I'm thinking, please don't make it like a big to do. And she said, no, I have the perfect recipe. They're these Hawaiian Kabobs. And so we ran to the store and we literally got a handful of ingredients. If you had a chance to see them on the feed, our membership feed, then you know how simple this recipe is. Ingredients like kielbasa, summer sausage, red onion, some colored peppers, and some fresh pineapple. And then if you want, a vinaigrette. And then what you do is you just cut them up, put them all together. You either skewer them and put them on the grill, which is amazing. Or if you don't have a grill, or if you don't have time to grill, or you don't want to grill, then you just throw them in a skillet. So I'm going to show you both ways tonight, but this is going to be a really quick one. And I'm really happy that you jumped on. So thank you. So let's get started. Let's make sure you can see me. Okay. So what I've got two different things. You can use kielbasa, you can use sausage, you can use chicken sausage. I've got a little variety. I've got hot Italian chicken sausage, and I've got kielbasa. And if you'll notice from both of these are both Nature's Promise. And the reason, it's not so much the brand that I'm going for, it's that they're both nitrate free, nitrate and nitrite free. That's what you want to look for whenever you're doing some kind of smoked meat. If you're doing bacon or cold cuts or anything like that, you want nitrate and nitrite free. Those two things, they're nitrate salts is what they are. They have been correlated with a higher incidence of colon cancer. So you want to avoid those whenever you can. Plus they can cause headaches. Plus they're an unnecessary additive. They're preservative. So you'll find things like this that are nitrite and nitrate free. They have a much shorter shelf life because they don't have those preservatives in them. So they'll say use or freeze by, and it'll be pretty soon, as opposed to if you get bacon or kielbasa or sausage from another brand, or even could be this brand, but that isn't nitrite and nitrate free, then they'll have a much longer shelf life. But really, that's not what you want, not for your gut health. So anyhow, you can use any combination of these kind of meats. And that's what we're having tonight. We're having a variety. Fresh pineapple. You can see how ripe this one is. And I have a little story for you about pineapple. Let me grab my towel because my pineapple's wet. I washed it. I got to go several years ago. My family and I, we went to Maui and we toured a pineapple plantation. And it was so cool because I had no idea how pineapples ever grew. It's not anything I ever imagined before. And if you haven't seen it, maybe you'll be as surprised as I was. What happens is these plantations, they have big bushes that grow in the ground, probably maybe like that big in diameter. And then out of the middle comes a stalk. And on top of the stalk, no lie, there's a pineapple, and they start very small and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. But what they taught us at this pineapple tour on the plantation is that once you buy a pineapple, this is what they said, it doesn't ripen after it's off the bush, after they cut it off. It doesn't ripen anymore. So they said you really just want to buy it already ripe. You don't want to buy it unripe and let it ripen. Now, that's what they told us. In my experience, that's not what I found. I found that if I get one that has some green on it, it is going to continue to ripen. What they said is that it would ferment. It wouldn't actually ripen. I don't know. I find that it seems to ripen. Maybe it's fermenting. I don't know. It still tastes good to me. But this is a really cool fun fact. If you buy fresh pineapple, you'll notice that it starts to ripen from the bottom up. So you'll notice the yellow starts from the bottom up. And that's the sugar content. And it will sometimes ferment and start to go bad before it's ever fully ripe on the top. So what you want to do is you want to store it. If you're going to have it for a couple of days, store it on your counter upside down, because literally the sugar will start to come down and then it'll ripen or ferment. I don't know. I'm obviously not the expert, but I store them this way and then they get sweeter and they seem to me to ripen faster. So fresh pineapple, you can get any kind of peppers that you want. I have orange tonight, but you can do any kind you want. Red, orange, yellow. Remember, and I put this in the notes, whenever you buy peppers, that's one that's worth splurging a little bit extra on for organic, because peppers are on the dirty dozen list. And the dirty dozen list, if you remember, you can get that on EWG.org. Again, EWG.org. And that stands for Environmental Working Group.org. And what they do every year is they study our produce and they come up with the top 12, the dirty dozen, that we have the least likelihood of getting the pesticides off. So in other words, we're eating the pesticides. So those are the products, the top 12 products that they say, spend a little extra and buy the organic on these, because otherwise you're ingesting a lot of pretty much glyphosate, which is the main ingredient in Roundup. So I buy my peppers organic, but anyway, it doesn't matter whether you like yellow or red or orange or a combination of all of them. Right now, I found a really good deal at Martin's for the small organic sweet peppers. I don't have them here with me. They were pretty reasonably priced. I think they were $3.99 for a bag, and for organic peppers, that's a really good price. So that, and then lastly, red onion. So you can see this is going to be beautiful. We're going to have orange and we're going to have purple from the red onion and bright yellow from the pineapple. So let's get started. Okay, what we do, can you see me from here? I'm going to tip you a little. I have you up there. I think you can see me better. All right, so what we're doing, is that better? Yeah, that's better. So I'm just going to cut up the hot sausage, and then I'm going to cut up the kielbasa. And this is kind of nice because sometimes you don't want to overdo it and get too much of one particular protein. If you're like me, you can kind of tend to get a lot of chicken. I get a lot of chicken at my house. And sometimes I like to mix it up, but I don't love some other proteins. Like I'm not a really big fan of just pork, like pork roast. So this is pork kielbasa, so it's a way to get some variety. I'm going to rinse these off and I'll be right back. Okay, so excuse me while I grab a paper towel. All right, so I'm just going to chop these up, and then I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on the easiest and fastest way to chop a fresh pineapple. I used to think it was so hard to chop a fresh pineapple that I wouldn't even buy them. I was like, there's no way, I'm not even going to try that. Once I learned how easy it is, now I buy them all the time. So, okay, let me just real quickly, I'm going to chop these up and I'll show you the size. You want them a good size to skewer if you're going to be putting them on skewers, if you're going to be grilling. Either way, these are all pre-cooked. So you're just going to brown them. So I just make them in chunks so that they're a good size for grilling. I'm putting them all in one plate, one bowl. So that's my chicken, my kielbasa. I'm a really big fan of kielbasa, and I know I just told you I don't love pork, but I actually do love kielbasa, and I really love it with sauerkraut. And I really love it with this recipe, because you will find when you combine the shish kebab flavors of peppers and onions along with the spicy of the sausage and the kielbasa and the salty and spicy, and then the sweet of the fresh pineapple, it is absolutely amazing. It's just an amazing treat for your taste buds. So now I'm cutting the onions into big chunks so that we can skewer them. Oh, and I'm dropping them kind of. Okay, so big chunks. And then the pepper, fastest way to cut a pepper I found is cut the top off. Well, there are two fast ways. You can just cut the center out real quickly. And then that, especially if it's one without a ton of seeds, that's super fast. The other way I sometimes do is I just cut down the sides away from it, and that works too. Tonight I'm only chopping one pepper because peppers have not been agreeing with me lately. So I'm just chopping one. But this is the size. Again, you want to stick them on skewers. So if you want to stick them on skewers, you want them big enough that they don't break apart when you stick the skewer on them. But you don't want them too big that they're not going to cook in time. All right, so this is going to be I want you telling me if this is your new summer recipe, because it is so quick. It is so quick. I hope that you even, I hope that maybe you had a chance to get some of these beforehand and you're cooking along with me. But if not, I really hope you try this recipe soon because you are gonna love it. Okay, I don't like to waste anything, so I'm taking this and I'm gonna pop this out, pop the stem out. And then cut this here. And I still see how that, a lot of times people will throw that top of the pepper away, but honestly, there's still a lot left. If you'll just pop the stem right up, it pops out, and then now you have got more pepper. Okay, believe it or not, guys, we are getting down to the last step. Okay, I told you, let me just rinse these up. I told you that I'm going to show you how easy it is, how very easy it is to get this pineapple, to wrestle this pineapple. It is so much easier than you may think. So what you're going to do, see if you can see me. I want to make sure you can see me close enough. All righty. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take it, you're going to cut the top off first. And then we're going to shave off all the sides. And then we're going to cut the bottom off. And all that's going to leave, and I'm going to cut it in half, and it's going to leave that hard core. And then we're just going to cut around the hard core, pitch the core, and then we'll have strips to just chop. So I'm going to show you. So first things first, we cut the top off. Now, I left this tag on just for you. I left it on because when this was on sale also, this tends to be $1 more, this Honey Glow. It is so sweet. This is my favorite pineapple, and it was $1 less this week at the grocery store. So I was pretty excited. So I grabbed this one, again, Honey Glow. When you find these, and if they're not a mint, then go ahead and grab them because they are so, so sweet. They're sweeter than regular fresh pineapple. Okay, now we're gonna take it, we're gonna chop the top off and that pretty tag. All right, so chop the top off. Sure you can see me. That gives us just this. Now we're going to start shaving the sides off. You want to get pretty close to that edge so that you don't lose much pineapple. But you just start shaving the sides. See how I'm doing that? You kind of come in. This is a trick. You come in, you don't come straight down. You come in at an angle. So you angle your knife and then curve it around. So you come in at an angle, curve it around and straight down, come in at an angle, and the last piece come in at an angle. And then you go to the bottom, cut the bottom off, throw all those away. I'm just going to peel. You can see now I cut it really close. So you can see I left some of those eyes that are kind of hard. So I'm going to just shave those off right now quickly. Just to make sure that we don't bite down on those when we're having dinner. So I'm going to, let me just turn it up a little tiny bit. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna shave those eyes off. There are just a few of them. There aren't even many at all, but I'd honestly rather have a couple eyes on there that I just need to shave off in 2 minutes than lose a whole bunch of my pineapple. Okay. Now you can see that I'm down to this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half this way. You can see that core is right there. You can see it on the other side. It's right here. So I'm gonna, that's our goal, is to cut that core out. All right. So we're gonna cut it straight down the middle. You can see that? Okay. And now you can really see the core. You can see it's right here. And on this piece, you can see that it's right there. So we're just literally going to start cutting around that core. And that'll give us nice big strips of pineapple. Here's that core I was talking about. This is that really hard center that's not edible. So we just cut the core out. And we're going to do the same on here. Can you see this core? I'm not sure if you can see it that far away. You can see right here. There's the core, right in the middle. So I'm going to cut around that. And cut around it on this side. I'm just looking right down on it and I can see it. Same here. Okay, so there's the core again. All right, pitch that. And now look what we have. This now is easy. Once we get to here, we're literally taking these strips, cutting them once that way, and then we're cutting them into chunks, bite-sized chunks that are going to be perfect. Wait, I didn't want that to slip and fall. Here, let me get you some more. Here. Oh, I didn't get all my core out. Let me show you that here. That's helpful to see too. Okay, so see the size of this chunk? Perfect to go on a skewer. Absolutely perfect. Okay, but I want to cut this and it's hard, which means I left some of that core in there. So I'm just going to shave a little bit more down the center, get the rest of that core out, throw that away. And now I have chunks again. And here, same type of thing. All right, my chunks are not as uniform as they could be, to be honest. I'll make these a little more uniform. I was going rogue there a little bit. And I have little ones and big ones and all kinds. All right. See how fast that is? Isn't that amazing? Maybe you already know this. Maybe you're like, no kidding. I was never afraid to cut a pineapple. I was, though. But it's so easy. Once you know how easy it is, there's no reason not to go out and get the fresh pineapple. Okay, so now what we've got, other than me, I need to wash my hands. Okay, so now what we've got, look how pretty. Isn't this beautiful? Can you see this? I'm going to tilt it without spilling it. Okay, now we've got a couple options. I'm going to skewer 2 skewers to show you what it looks like once it's all ready for the grill. And then I'm going to throw the rest into a skillet because I'm going to make mine up today on the skillet, but I want to show you how great they are to skewer. So I'm going to finish that up. I've got a couple skewers here. I'm going to get these out of the way. And got a couple skewers. Ideally, what you want to do is when you have wooden skewers, if you have metal ones at home, that's easy. No maintenance. Wooden skewers, you want to soak these before you ever put them on the grill to keep them from burning. Ideally, you would soak them in a big bowl or a big glass of water, or even on a cookie sheet with a jelly roll pan with a little rim. Cover it with water, put your skewers down in, ideally for an hour. If you don't have an hour, say you only have even 5 or 10 minutes, that's better than not soaking them at all. So the key is to soak them before you grill them. Okay. All right. And now it's just like any kind of shish kebab. What you're going to do is you're just going to start skewering. So say kielbasa, onion. Let's see what we got here. Onion, pepper. pepper. Trying to check out all my colors here as I'm doing this for you. I'm going to mix the kielbasa up with the chicken sausage, because I'm living large, and I'm going to put some onion on the back half because I like how colorful it is. So let's get this onion here. All right. And then pineapple. And then I'm going to do another piece of kielbasa. And say another onion. No, more pineapple, because the pineapple is literally the star of the show. So we want more pineapple on there, because when you taste this pineapple and how it melds, the flavors meld in with everything else, you will be amazed. It will blow your taste buds. You'll be like, what? How have I not known about this sooner? That's how I felt when my friend taught me this recipe. I thought, where has this been all of my life? So really, what I like to do is I like to get the pineapple against the pieces of meat, because they really make the meat taste amazing. So I mean, oh, man down. All right, we'll try another one. I like the pineapple against the meat, I was saying, because I like the flavor, how the pineapple flavors the meat. So my dog's not here. If he were here, there would not be a pineapple piece on the floor anymore, but alas, I will be cleaning that one up. Okay. And so now you can see I have chicken sausage, pineapple, red onion, more chicken sausage, or colored pepper. Let's put on kielbasa. We need more pineapple, remember, against the meat. Pineapple. What do you think now? How about red onion? To make it look pretty and make it taste amazing. Red onion. Maybe another pepper. Let's put chicken sausage and then pepper. Okay. So what you really want to do with any kind of skewers, any kind of shish kebab, is you want to alter it, because the goal is to get the flavors to intermingle. So you're trying to get the flavors to all go together. So now we have a couple options. Our options are this. We can either, some recipes call for making a barbecue sauce mixed with some pineapple juice, and pouring that over top. I have always used a vinaigrette, and I'll show you my favorite. My favorite brand is this Bragg Organic. This is the ginger sesame. It's amazing on these pineapple kebabs, these Hawaiian kebabs. They have another one that's just vinaigrette. That is also amazing. That's my favorite, but I don't have it. The store was out of the vinaigrette. They've been out of it for a while. So anyway, Bragg's is my favorite. And you know why? Remember, I've talked so much about checking the ingredient list, and you've, through Well Weight, learned, check the ingredient list. Anything can say something on the front, but what it says in the ingredients is where the rubber really meets the road. And what you'll find in Bragg's, this brand, Bragg's salad dressings, is what you won't find in any other brand. And that is the very first ingredient is organic extra virgin olive oil. Almost all salad dressings you're going to buy, even the quote unquote healthy ones, you are going to find the number one ingredient, number one or number two, will be canola oil or soybean oil. And first of all, you always want canola and soybean organic, 100%. They're just like the Dirty Dozen. They're not necessarily on the Dirty Dozen, but almost all corn, soy, and canola in our country is genetically modified. And what that means to you is, that's a bunch of fancy words. We see it a lot. It's controversial. But what that means to you, the bottom line is genetically modified foods are extremely high in Roundup, that main ingredient in Roundup, which is glyphosate. That's what kills the weeds. So we don't want that in our diet. That wrecks your gut. Not to mention, it's been correlated with cancer. No kidding, right? If it's weed killer, we definitely don't want that in our body. So when you find something with soybean oil in it or canola oil in it, you want to make sure it's organic, because they can't be treating it with Roundup then, okay? But best of the best, so if you had a good, better, best version. Good would be something that was organic canola or organic soy. That would be good. Better would be, I guess it wouldn't be even good, better, best. That would be good. And then the next step, the very best would be this, because it's, better would be extra virgin olive oil, although that's extremely difficult to find. Again, Bragg's is about the only one I ever see that has it. And then best would be this Bragg's, because it's organic extra virgin olive oil. But even if you found one that wasn't organic, but it was extra virgin olive oil, you're good. You're way better off than getting that canola stuff and that soybean stuff that's genetically modified. So now at this point, we could pour dressing on top. I like mine better once I start cooking it, because there's kielbasa and because there's chicken sausage, and those are higher fat content meats. I don't do any dressing anymore. I used to do a vinaigrette, and sometimes I'll do this. And so what we'll do is we'll pour it on top of our skewers. Okay, you can pour it and just pour it on top. You can baste once you're grilling, but you really don't have to. The flavor soaks in right away. You can, it's in the recipe, but if you seriously want as easy as can be, you could drizzle some on, pop it on the grill, and you're good. Or you can do what I do now, which is even kind of the lazy way, but honestly, I don't notice enough of a difference, where I literally just will take these now. Those are my skewer ones. But what I'll do now is I'll just pop these. I'll pop these in my skillet, and I will just prime it with a tiny bit of olive oil, just to make sure that initially the pan, it doesn't stick initially. And then I'll heat it up, and the oils, the fats from the kielbasa and the sausage will start to release. And since the sausage is hot Italian, it'll release some of those spices, and same with the kielbasa. And then all these things, I will cook it very quickly. I'm going to do that with you here, but I cook it until just the pineapple just starts to caramelize a little bit, and you start to see some brown edges on the kielbasa and the sausage. And when that happens, it's done. We're good to go. So I'm going to get that going now. And while I do that, but alternately, you would just pop these on the grill, and you would grill them, and you bring them in from the grill, and you would serve them on a plate. You put them on a plate like so. And you would just serve them, and everybody would pick their own skewers. And on the side, I make rice, or you could make quinoa, or you could make cauliflower rice, and just serve that on the side. I myself, just before I hopped on, I made a little bit of white rice. Normally I will make brown rice, but tonight that's what I had. I had white jasmine at home. I have teenagers who do the shopping for me sometimes, and I get what I get. I normally recommend brown rice because it doesn't spike your blood sugar. But as I said, that's what I got. I got some jasmine white rice brought to me from the grocery store. And so that's what we're going to be having tonight. And remember what a serving is. A serving is half a cup, which is about a half of your fist or a half of a baseball. But if you don't have teenagers shopping for you, get the brown rice. It's much better. It doesn't spike your blood sugar. Or go with the quinoa, or even better yet, remember our good, better, best? Best would be cauliflower rice, or mixing cauliflower rice in with your quinoa or in with your brown rice. Okay, so now on to cooking. Let's see, can you see me? Alrighty, so I have this guy heating up. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of prime the pump a little bit with this. Look how pretty this is. I found this to save my countertops. You know how you pour olive oil out and then it gets all over your countertop? I was so excited to find this. I found that TJ Maxx, and then I put my olive oil in there, and it doesn't get all over my counter, which I really appreciate. Okay, so now I'm heating this up. Like I said, I'm priming the pump. That's nice and hot now. I'm gonna make sure you can see. Yep. All right, and I'm going to just start putting this. I want this to be pretty hot. And then I'm going to start putting these pieces in. I actually want it to sear. Oh, it's starting to, I think we're there. I can smell it. Okay. So, yep, you can hear it, right? So I'm just putting in, I definitely want to intermix the pineapple just like I did on the skewers. I intermix the pineapple with the meat because really that's where you get that massive pop of flavor, is if the pineapple mixes in with the meats. And then you get it from the pepper and you get it from the onion. This makes the best leftovers too, and you can eat it hot or cold. Okay, so let's just get started with this. I want you to see how beautiful this is. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. So, rinse this off so I can take you over. All right. If you want to show you how pretty it is. Okay, here you go. Oh, I hope you're cooking dinner because this smells so good. I'm gonna grab a spoon. I'm gonna start stirring. Okay, so you can see how, isn't that beautiful? Look how pretty. Let's see, like it's up there. All the different colors. We've got the purple with the yellow. And then the orange, and just imagine if you had a red pepper in there too, how gorgeous that would be. I do not for this recipe, I don't buy yellow peppers because I like all the colors and I think yellow is too redundant for me. So I don't actually buy the yellow peppers. I only buy red or orange for this recipe. So now I have this burner on pretty high. And I'm going to give it just a minute. Oh, you should be here. You should be here to smell it. Now the kielbasa is starting to really smell. You can really smell it in the kitchen with the pineapple and the pepper and onion. Do you see? This is why I don't actually add any. I used to always add that vinaigrette. I don't anymore because look, now when I'm cooking, you can see. I want to make sure you can see well. Hang on. All right, that's pretty good. You can see it really does not need it. I just found it was, I found when I would add it, I just didn't need it. So that's why I stopped. So that's it. Now I'm just gonna brown this. I'm gonna leave this on, let me see, right over here. I'm gonna leave this on pretty high until everything just starts to get brown around the edges. And as it does, it's done. You're done. Do you see how quick that is? That's the fastest weeknight dinner could possibly have. You just cut a few things up, you throw it in a pan or put it on skewers and you heat it up until it's to your liking and you're done. Make a little rice or cauliflower rice or quinoa or whatever you want on the side, a sweet potato, and you are good to go. So I'm letting this sit for one more second. I'm going to show you the final product and we're done. So I do hope that if you haven't made this along with me tonight, I hope you're going to make it soon. And I would love to hear, let me get you over here. Hang on. There's my arm in the way. Okay. I would see how good that looks, starting to get brown on the edges. You definitely want your pineapple to brown because it gets even sweeter then. So wait till your pineapple just gets a little brown tinge on the edges and you are good to go. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. This was a quick one and please let me know when you try it, how you like it. I will see you next month on our next cooking class and I hope you have a wonderful week. Catch you later. Bye.